Welcome to Strength for Generations, the go-to podcast for Christian families who want to build strength, restore energy, and deepen connection with God at the center. Hi, I'm Krista Baker, Christian health coach, wife, mom, and co-founder of Baker Family Fitness. Have you tried it all? The diets, the workouts, the supplements, yet still feel stuck? Do you find yourself too drained to connect with your family, lead with purpose, or live out the calling God's placed on your life? Then you're in the right place. I'm here to help you honor God with your health and bring peace back to the process. To simplify what it means to build strength in your body, renew your mind, and care for your spirit, all without losing precious time with your family. Each week, you'll be encouraged by God's Word, inspired by real stories, and equipped with the tools you need to succeed. With trusted experts and conversations that help you grow stronger in body, mind, and spirit. So grab your coffee or your ribeye and let's do this His way. Hey, welcome back to the Strength for Generations podcast. I'm your host, Krista Baker. If this is your first time listening, this podcast is for Christian families who want to build health that honors God and lasts for generations. We talk about stewarding your body in ways that are built for real life, not built for perfection. And today, I want to have an honest conversation about something I see all the time. Does this sound like you? You've tried the program after program. You've downloaded the meal plans, bought the workout guides, and started Monday after Monday with the best intentions. But here you are, months or maybe even years later, still feeling stuck in the same place. Still carrying the weight that makes you uncomfortable in your own skin. Still feeling tired, overwhelmed, and like you're failing at something that should be simple. And maybe you're starting to wonder if lasting change is even possible for someone like you. Someone with a full life, real responsibilities, and a body that doesn't seem to respond like it used to. I want you to know you're not broken. And you're not lacking willpower, and you're definitely not alone. The problem isn't you. The problem is that most approaches to health completely ignore how real life actually works. They ignore your season of life, your responsibilities, and what your body actually needs to thrive. So today, I want to share with you why my clients get results when others don't. It's not because they're more disciplined than you. It's not because they have more time or fewer responsibilities. It's because they're following something that actually works with their life, not against it. Scripture tells us that Christ is our firm foundation. And now, in health, firm foundations is yours. By the end of today's episode, you're going to understand exactly why quick fixes fail and why building firm foundations is the only way to create health that lasts for generations. Let's dive in. Okay, here's what I've learned after years of coaching Christian families towards lasting health. Most programs fail because they're built on shaky ground. They promise fast results, dramatic transformations, and life changes that happen in 30 days or less. But here's the truth that no one wants to talk about. Fast results require extreme measures, and extreme measures cannot be sustained in real life with real responsibility. Think about it this way. If someone told you they could help you build a house in 2 weeks, would you trust that foundation? Would you feel confident raising your family in a home that was rushed through construction? Of course not. You'd want to know that every beam was properly placed, every foundation was solid, every system was built to last. Yet when it comes to our health, we keep looking for the 2-week house. We want the quick fix, the rapid transformation, the before and after photos that prove we can change everything in record time. But your body is not a project to be completed. Your health is not a problem to be solved in 30 days. Your relationship with food and movement is not something that can be reset or restarted with the right plan. The foundation that needs to be built carefully, intentionally, and with long-term in mind. Okay, so it's just that foundation that we really need to build. Just one step at a time. Okay, this is why my clients get results when others don't. They're not chasing quick fixes anymore. They did that. I asked them all the time, like in the beginning, what have we done? What have we tried? They're not doing that anymore. We're done with that. They're building a firm foundation. And they know because I tell them that it takes time. But the thing that happens is that firm foundation lasts for generations. Okay, we don't skip steps in this program. So let me tell you a little story about Sarah and David. When Sarah came to me, she was carrying 30 extra pounds and felt completely defeated. She had tried every program you could imagine. The meal delivery services, the workout challenges, elimination diets, the fitness apps, the classes, the group X, you name it. Each time she'd lose some weight, feel hopeful for a few weeks, and then slowly watch everything come back. She was frustrated, exhausted, and starting to believe that lasting change just wasn't possible for her anymore. But her struggle actually went a bit deeper than just the weight. She was navigating the hormonal storm of perimenopause, and I'm deep in it myself right now, and there's definitely ways that we can make this better. I can promise you that. You're not broken. But her sleep was totally disrupted. Her energy was unpredictable. Her body felt foreign to her. She's like, I don't even know who I am anymore. But she was the natural caretaker of her home, and she poured herself into nurturing everyone else. She made sure the kids had their lunches packed, drove them to the activities, managed the household, and she worked. But when it came to caring for herself, she always came last. I don't know if this sounds like you, but maybe that's resonating with you right now. It's with a lot of women, a lot of the women that I work with. Her husband, David, was struggling too. He worked long days and came home exhausted, often grabbing fast food on the way home, lunchtime, a lot of quick, easy things. Cooking just felt like one more thing on an already overwhelming list. His body was showing the effects of stress, poor sleep, and years of putting his health on the back burner. He felt slower, weaker, and less confident than he used to. He was also struggling with some autoimmune stuff too. And both Sarah and David wanted to model health for their children, but they actually felt like hypocrites. They would see things in their own kids and they're like, I don't like when they do it. And finally got to a place where they're like, wait, they're doing it because we're doing it. They knew what they should be doing, but they couldn't seem to make it stick. Does this sound familiar to you? So here's what Sarah and David didn't realize. Every program they had tried was asking them to build their health on top of broken systems. They gave them meal plans without teaching them how to make decisions. This strict meal plan was available for them and it worked for a little while, but they didn't know how to navigate life. Gave them workout schedules without helping them understand their body, and gave them rules to follow without helping them build the mindset that creates lasting change. So it's like trying to build a beautiful house on a foundation with cracks. No matter how pretty the house looks, those cracks will eventually show up in every room. So what we do, our program is Firm Foundations, and it's a lot different. Instead of giving you another set of rules to follow, we build the systems that make healthy choices automatic. Instead of restricting your life, we create structure that supports your life. Instead of focusing on what you can't have, we focus on what your body needs to thrive. So I'm going to break down the 3 pillars of the program. 1, we work on your metabolic foundation. So your metabolism is not just about how fast you can burn calories. It's about how well your body processes food, manages energy, and recovers from stress. Most programs completely ignore metabolic health. They'll cut calories dramatically. I've seen it time and time again. And, when people are in weight loss, we do have to understand calories. But when we are being told to eat 1,000 calories, we have nowhere to go from there. So, people are eliminating entire food groups. Now, there's a lot of controversy when it comes to specific ways of dieting, different types of diets. I understand them. I study them. I research them. I've tried things just so that I can understand what that would feel like, what the response feels like, just from a personal standpoint. And just because I'm like a guinea pig for myself, so I can understand what other people are experiencing. But we also know that that's not a sustainable thing for many people long term, and we see it time and time again. They expect your body to function normally while being underfueled, and that being underfueled equals plateau. So this is like asking your car to run efficiently while only giving it half the gas it needs. So it might work for a little while, but eventually something's going to break down. In Firm Foundations, I don't tell my clients what to eat. I teach them how to eat for long-term success. So I really help dive into understanding your unique metabolic needs and teach you how to balance your meals around your real life scenarios. Anybody travel, right? When you're traveling for work or eating out, and that's your only option, how do we make those decisions? Because that's real life. What about our Sunday feasting? We go over to our friend's house or we do something after church and we want to just enjoy a meal, and you should be able to. Things like when you're rushing to get the kids to practice and you need something quick, we dive into all of that because we have to find solutions because that is real life and that is what you're experiencing. What about those days when you're dealing with sick kids and you barely have no time to think about like anything except for all the other tasks that are high priority, right? Our job is to care for these little ones. And oftentimes we get put to the other side. But how can I make this better? How can I make some non-negotiables in my own life? What about when your hormones are all over the place and your cravings feel impossible to manage? Well, guess what? We've got to talk about that because that happens almost every month with every woman that I work with. So if we don't get ahead of that, we are in denial that like this thing doesn't exist. And there's a lot of different strategies that we can implement to help you feel better around that time so that you don't feel terrible and you don't have that extreme kind of feelings. So we create flexibility within structure so that you can nourish your body well no matter what life throws at you. We make sure your body has the fuel it needs to function well, and we teach you how to eat in a way that supports your hormones, your energy, and your long-term health. This is why my clients don't feel deprived or restricted. Generally, by week 3, the feedback I will get like in my check-in with them will be like, I'm not craving things anymore. And I think that's so cool. Like, it's something that I definitely hear a lot. And it's like my taste buds are changing. I didn't realize I didn't need certain things at certain times. I just like have become so much more aware of like control in my own body. They really feel energized and satisfied because their bodies are finally getting what they need. So that's what we do under like that pillar, that pillar 1, that metabolic foundation. And then our pillar 2 is movement. So movement is a necessary part of life. Most fitness programs are designed for people who have hours to spend in the gym. And I don't know about you, but I don't. They assume that you can work out 5 or 6 days a week, follow complicated routines, and push through pain and exhaustion. But that's not real life for most of us. Real life means you need to move. You need to find movement that fits into your schedule. It actually works with your energy levels and makes you feel better, not more exhausted. So in our program, we actually just start with 15 minutes a day. That's it. I know, 15 minutes. Wait, don't I have to do 1-hour workouts and cardio? No, you don't. Okay. And if anybody is telling you that that's what you have to do, they're lying to you. 15 minutes of intentional movement that builds strength and it serves your life. And so what I do is I start my clients out with just those short movements, making sure that we hit all of our movement patterns throughout the week. And we spend more of the time really focused on, more enjoyable things that we can do, like playing with the kids, soccer, just getting to the park, running, going for a walk together as a family, dance party in the living room, whatever that looks like, so that you can like just focus on getting that daily activity. Call it your daily step count. I call it that because that's what a lot of people will use as a tracker, as a way to like track their movement. But we're looking at your overall activity throughout the day. So here's what makes this different is we customize everything to your real life, teach you how to modify when you're traveling. So another thing is really important. So after the 15-minute, kind of daily workouts, I make them that way because sometimes people are like, well, we all have 15 minutes. I really don't know who can't find 15 minutes in their day. And some people will want to like stack. So they'll do like 2 of the 15-minute workouts on let's say day 1, and then 2 on day 3, and then 2 on day 5. But instead of that, like a lot of people start to crave movement every day because we've just put a little bit of movement in each day and it's doable. And also you're not as sore, like just because you don't need to be to a place where you're like, I can't even walk up the stairs. Like I'm so sore. We should really be mindful of that. And then when we start to add the daily activity, because we've already stacked the healthy food and we've started to change the nutrition, which is where we get most of our results anyways, that, the daily activity really starts to kind of like ignite a lot of people. And then they're like, oh, okay, now I'm ready for, and that's when we start discuss like, hey, are you ready for this level of movement? Or maybe they're like, hey, now that I've really starting to enjoy exercise, I'd like to increase. Maybe we go into like 4 a little bit longer workouts and we start splitting the muscle groups up. But I never do that off the hop because most people can't manage that. And I know my clients so well that like I need them to just start to enjoy getting back into moving. So I also teach clients how to modify when they're traveling. Like I have a lot of people that will travel regularly. And so they're like, I don't want to I don't want to not work out. There's a difference between traveling for work and traveling and wanting to be able to do all these things versus, hey, I'm going on a vacation. I do also change things up for them for their vacation because I think it's important. Like a lot of the times, these vacation places, you might actually be moving a lot more than your stationary like desk job. So we take all that into consideration. And sometimes I have clients that are overdoing it. I'm like, you're taking a vacation and you're going to go and rest. So it really depends on the individual. And also I teach a lot of them like what to do when they're completely exhausted. There's a level of accountability when it comes to, if you're completely exhausted or you're in your cycle or there's different things that are happening in your life, because not all weeks look the same. Or depending on maybe you had 4 shifts in a row, because I've got a lot of shift workers, or, let's say right now dealing with like snow removal and you're like, I've been out plowing for this many hours. Well, we take that into consideration because we want to learn how to like really implement movement into just normal everyday life. Okay. And sometimes, you know, it's just like a matter of having like that backup plan. So a backup plan for when kids are sick and you can't leave the house. My goal is to always help people learn to love exercise instead of seeing it as punishment. So I create routines that work even when life gets busy because life is always going to get crazy. I don't think there's any of us that really don't identify as busy, especially if you are between the ages of 20 and maybe 65. So this is why my clients actually stick with their movement routines because we teach them how to do that. And not all of them become athletes and they're like, I've worked with tons of athletes, but that's a lot of people like that's not their goal. And some of them are like, man, I really want to try all these new different things and they like learn to love it. I was working with one lady yesterday and I taught her a new exercise and it felt good. I'm like, you're going to love strength training. I could feel it off you. I was getting so excited for her because I'm like, you don't even know. Like, girl, I'm like, this feels so good and your body feels so strong. So that's what people really feel like, strong and capable, and they can really handle whatever life throws at them. Okay. So that's a really, really important pillar for us. And another one, our third pillar, is more of that mindset foundation. So this is the pillar that I believe most programs like completely skip. And I have had an opportunity to work with coaches in their businesses, on their programs, kind of on the back end of things. And I did see this missing a lot for a lot of people. Like, sure, we can give all the workouts and we can motivate and guide and teach about food, but what about what's happening in the mind? And, you can have the perfect meal plan and the best workout routine, but if your thoughts are still stuck in diet culture, you're never going to create lasting change. Diet culture tells you your worth is tied to a number on the scale. And I do track numbers on the scale for most of my clients because I need to know that the thing is working, right? But it's not the number one thing that we're working towards: scale and non-scale victories. And so we always are looking for those things that come in. Well, hey, the scale might not have moved, but you're fitting better in your clothes. You feel stronger. So we have to work through that process together and understand progress. It comes in many forms. The diet culture tells you that you need to punish your body for what you ate yesterday. You don't need to earn your food. I hate when people say that. They're like, oh, I got to go and earn this meal, or and then I got to go sweat this one off. It tells you that your health requires suffering, restriction, and constant just nagging at you. And I personally don't think that's biblical. And I don't think it's sustainable long term. So the most important thing that we do in our program is we invite Jesus into this journey. So we break down what he says about you and your body. You're fearfully and wonderfully made in his image. Psalm 139:14 reminds us, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Your body's not a mistake. And it's not something to be ashamed of or punished. it's a gift. It's a gift from God that deserves to be stewarded well. We really help to rebuild your relationship with your body from the ground up, starting with this truth, His truth. And we remember that health is stewardship, not obsession. And so, there's times that people will start to become obsessed with like their food tracking and all that stuff. And we always have to like reframe, or it has to be like extreme. Well, the only way that I ever can lose weight is if I do keto. And the only way that this works is if I'm this, or the only. And I feel like that becomes like this obsession. We should have balance. We should be able to go and have a piece of cake really hard on ourselves. I know that I'm just as hard on myself at times too. And the comparison trap, it's so hard not to get sucked into it. And so when that happens, I'm like, whoa, rewind. What's happening there? This type of mindset work is what makes everything else possible. For myself, I'm not strong enough to do this on my own. I know I'm not. And so when I hand that over, it makes it so much more peaceful. When you stop fighting your body and you start caring for it, healthy choices become natural. They're not forced anymore. And I know that I have forced so many different things in my life and my past. And that's why I'm here to help you guys today, because learn from the mistakes that I've made. I know we're all really struggling when it comes to trying to figure this all out. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be perfect, and it's never going to be. We have to take this one step at a time and build on it. You probably hear a lot about habit stacking, you probably hear about these things. But when we start to look at these core pillars, we're like, what's the one thing I can implement into each of them, because they work so well together? We can't separate them. They definitely help us to succeed. So what does that look like for each one of the people I work with? And it varies. It's similar, but it definitely varies. So let me be honest with you about something. This process, it requires a lot of patience. There's a lot of trust that goes into it too. Like, how God always asks us to just trust. Just trust me. Just trust me. I got you. Don't worry. Like, that's what I hear him say to me all the time. And there's times where I'm like, I'm still afraid. I'm still struggling. I still don't know how to do this. Like, I know that you have gone before me. I know that you know how this all works out. And I know that you have the intentions are always good for me, but I still struggle with, that control and trying to figure it out. So we're all on this journey together. I don't ever think that I'm better than anyone else. I have a lot of tools and strategies that help people get to the place of actually doing the thing, because sometimes it's just really building a good, solid plan and having accountability. But like, this level of trust requires you to let go of the fantasy that you can undo years of damage in a matter of weeks. And that's like a game changer. When you can when your mind feels peaceful and ready to just like heal, and you're like, this is going to take some time, but I'm going to sit here and do the work, then that whole quick fix mentality really gets kicked out the door, and we start to do some deep stuff together. And I know that's not what you want to hear. I know easy sounds a lot better. Trust me. I wish there was just a quick and easy, I do, and then I don't, because I think that when we do the work and we do something hard, there's a reward to that. There's something that happens inside of you where you grow, where you feel stretched, and you're like, all right, I can do these things. There's no easier path. I'm sorry. There's no shortcut that's going to get you to where you want to be without the work. And also, you have to think too, if we've been doing one thing for so long. So a question I'll ask a lot of people is how long has this been an issue for you? If they're like, okay, I want to lose weight. Great. So they're like, let's say they weigh 250 pounds and they want to weigh 150 pounds. And I'm like, okay, well, when was the last time you weighed 150 pounds? When I was in high school. Okay. That was 25 years ago. How long did it take for this 100 pounds to be built on your body? Because it didn't happen overnight. And then we expect it to just fall off in a day or two. It doesn't work that way, my friends. So once you can actually really recognize and, dig deep and make that connection, this gets easier. Trust me, I promise you, it gets a lot easier. But there's not a quick fix, okay? Every shortcut you've tried has led you back to where you started, okay? When we do that, when we continually tell our body that it's just this project and I'm going to do this thing, and then 2 weeks later I stop doing that thing, it doesn't trust you anymore and it doesn't feel safe anymore. And those quick fixes are probably leaving you a little bit more frustrated and probably leaving you maybe even heavier than when you began. We've been seeing it all the time. Think about Ozempic, think about the Wegovy, like all the GLP-1s. I've been studying a lot of that stuff for years before they became very mainstream because I wanted to kind of understand more. I wanted to gain some knowledge in those areas because I do work with a lot of people that have tried a lot of these things. So I'm like, okay, let me get ahead of the research. We're not ahead of the research, but now we're starting to see more. More is coming out. And we're seeing people getting extremely sick and have organ issues. And that's not okay, because I know that if you're listening to this message right now, that you want to feel good, that you don't want to feel terrible anymore. And so those extreme measures are the things that are building over time, making you feel terrible. And guess what? If you don't address them now, they're not going to get easier. Every extreme approach has taught your body that it cannot trust you to take care of it consistently. You're tired of starting over because you keep starting with the approaches that are designed to fail. You keep building on foundations that can't support the life that you want to live. And deep down, you know this. You know that what you've been doing isn't working. You know that you need something different, something that honors your body, it fits your life, and creates change that actually lasts. You know that you want to model health for your children that looks like stewardship, not obsession. I think we really need to be careful about how we speak about these things in front of our children. I have to say this all the time, more is caught than taught. They are seeing what we do. They are recognizing that behavior, and that is what they're going to do. So ask yourself, hey, do I want my kids to feel like this? And the answer is no. Then we need to stop going towards those quick fixes or not doing something about it. I know you want to show them what it looks like to care for the body God gave you without making it an idol. And you want to feel strong and confident and at peace in your own skin. Not just for the few weeks, not just, oh, I got to get this way before the vacation, or, oh, I got to get this way. My kid's getting married and I don't want to, I got to walk them down the aisle and I don't want to look like this. So what can I do in 3 months? Right? Like those are I'm okay having dates on the calendar and goals and stuff, but we got to work with like within reality, right? And I know that you want them to look at this and you want this to be something for the rest of your life. You want to age well. You want to enjoy your retirement. Well, that's what firm foundations can give you, but only if you're willing to do the work and building the walls properly, right? We lay that foundation down and it is solid. So let me tell you what happened with Sarah and David after the 6 months that they were in the program. Sarah lost 25 pounds, but more importantly, she gained something that she had lost years ago: confidence in her own body, trust in her ability to make healthy choices, energy to keep up with her kids and actually enjoy her life. Her hormones, oh my goodness, she's like, my hormones are balancing. I know how to nourish my body, and I don't feel crazy in perimenopause. And can I get an amen? She stopped weighing herself every day because the number on the scale was no longer the measure of her worth. And that's really important. I do have my clients weigh regularly for most of them, depending on their health history, depending on their relationship with the scale. But a lot of it is just because I want to help them catch these numbers, because sometimes they don't see them because it happened on Wednesday and then this happened. And it helps me to see trends in how their weeks are managing so that I can help them change those things that are sabotaging their goals. But she stopped feeling guilty about food because she learned how to nourish her body well. So she didn't feel upset when she wanted to just go and have cake with her husband on their birthday or with their kids and they're, having some social time and they're just going to get an ice cream. She stopped feeling super stressed out about that. And she stopped starting over every Monday because she had built habits that worked even when life got messy. And David, he lost 30 pounds. He gained back his strength and confidence, and that was really important for him. He wanted to feel strong again. He learned how to meal prep in ways that worked with his schedule. So instead of just jumping on the train and going down, he learned how to actually like have the things prepared and ready to go to collectively as a family. He started taking walks during his lunch break, parking farther. He started doing short workouts in the morning because we knew that when he was getting home, he was too exhausted. He stopped grabbing fast food on the way home because he had systems in place that made healthier choices easier. But most importantly, both Sarah and David fell in love with their 2.0 selves. Okay, and you've heard me talk about this. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to go back. I think it's episode 8, where I really help you guys figure out how to develop that for yourself. And they fell in love with their 2.0 version. And not just because they look different. They definitely did. They're like really happy how they were looking, but they felt different. They felt strong. They felt capable and at peace with their bodies. Both felt proud of the example they were setting for their children. And they felt like they were finally honoring God with how they cared for their bodies. He gave it to them, and they're like, I actually am stewarding my body well. And I remember 6 months after, like Sarah told me something that brought me to tears. She said, Krista, for the first time in years, I feel like myself again, but actually I feel like a better version of myself. So a lot of people will say to me, I just want to feel like how I felt back then. And I'll be like, were you happy with yourself back then? Did you like yourself? Like, what did that look like for you? And a lot of times people will say, yeah, like I did like myself back then. I felt confident and all those things. And they want to get back to feeling that good. But then at the same time, they want to really build this new version of themselves. And that's what really happened for her. Same with David, like I didn't realize how much my health was affecting everything else in my life. And now I have energy for my family, confidence in my body, and I actually look forward to taking care of myself. Like, who doesn't want a husband that says those words? I know I have one, and I'm so grateful for my husband because I watched him go through a massive transformation in his own health. And when that happened, like everything got better. How him and I interacted, how his patience level, like all the things that I know he deeply desired inside of his soul. And it's fun now. Like he was always funny, but now I think he's even funnier and just like really awesome. So that's something that like I know a lot of us women desire in their husbands. And a lot of women need the support of their husbands and vice versa. So when we do this together, your success rate will definitely go up because you're both like, you're in it. You're in the trenches together. Like I know I could say to Mike, hey, I got to work late tonight. And he's like, don't worry. I got meal prep going right now, or vice versa. Like I'm looking at his schedule and I'm like, I got to get some I know his breakfasts and lunches are going to be definitely out on the road. I got to get some stuff ready for him. And we know what each other likes and all of those things. So, we just go and do it. It's really awesome. Sure, we talk about it, but we don't need to. It's just done. And that's what our program does. That's what Firm Foundations can do for you. It doesn't just change your body. It changes your relationship with your body. It doesn't just help you lose weight. It helps you gain your life back. And here's the beautiful thing about foundations. Once they're built, they support everything else you want to build on top. Sarah and David didn't stop at 6 months. They kept building. They actually started hiking with their family on weekends. Sarah signed up for some strength training classes at our gym. And David started cooking dinner with the kids on the weekends, which is super cool because now, once again, they're seeing you do it and then they do it with you. I did it today with Bailey, actually. I was doing some meal prep for Mike. And hopefully Casey will like it. I was trying something new. I was remaking the Starbucks egg bites. And so I was getting them prepared so I can like individually have them ready for him to grab and go. And then at the same time, Bailey was like, okay, she was making like some ground beef, like kind of taco meat. And so she's like, okay, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to soak the blueberries because we soak them. And if you're not washing your fruit, then you can message me and we'll talk about that. Anyways, so that was something that we did today. And it's just because she saw me doing it that we did it. And now even when I open the dishwasher, she sees me taking all the dishes out. She jumps on the other side and starts helping right away. So when David started cooking dinner with his kids on the weekends, it made it more enjoyable. And be mindful, guys, like your kids are probably going to be messier and it might take a little bit longer, but you're going to be doing it together as a family. And what that's going to do is it's going to teach them long term. So when they go away to university, they know how to cook themselves something healthy. They also began planning active family vacations. So it wasn't just, we're just going to go and flop and lay down for a week. It was like, we're going to go and be active together and actually enjoy this process together. And it's not because they had to, it's because they actually wanted to. Because when your foundation is solid, growth becomes natural instead of forced. And this is something that I want for you. I really want you to stop chasing those quick fixes and start building something that actually lasts. I want you to stop fighting your body and start caring for it. I want you to stop starting over and moving forward. But here's what I need you to understand. This work requires support. It requires guidance, and it requires someone who understands not just the how, but the why behind lasting change. If you've tried to do this alone and it hasn't worked, not because you're not capable, but because sustainable change requires more than just information. It requires transformation. The transformation happens in relationship. You have two choices right now. You can close this podcast, go back to your life, and keep doing what you've always done. Keep starting Monday after Monday with good intention and no real plan. Keep feeling frustrated with your body and disappointed in yourself. Keep modeling for your children that health is something you talk about but never actually achieve. Keep living in a body that feels foreign to you instead of the strong, confident woman God created you to be. Or you can decide that today is the day that you stop settling for less than what you deserve. Today is the day you stop making excuses and start making changes. Today is the day you choose to build firm foundations instead of chasing quick fixes. The Firm Foundation program isn't just a concept I talk about on this podcast. It's the exact system I use with my clients to create lasting transformation. And I only work with men and women who are ready to do the work, women who are tired of starting over and ready to start building, men who want to honor God with their health and model stewardship for their children, families who understand that lasting change takes time, but are willing to invest that time because they know their future selves are worth it. If that's you, I want to talk. But I need you to understand something. I don't just work with everyone. I only work with people who are ready to commit to the process and trust the journey. So if you're looking for a quick fix, I'm not your coach. If you want someone to give you a meal plan and send you on your way, I'm definitely not your coach. Actually, just go to Pinterest. There's tons of free stuff there. But if you want someone who will walk alongside you as you build health that honors God and lasts for generations, we need to talk. So here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to send me a direct message on Instagram. So Baker Family Fitness is the handle. Or you can email me at support@bakerfamilyfitness.com and tell me where you are right now with your health, where you want to be 6 months from now. Tell me what you've tried before and why it didn't work. Tell me why you're ready to do this differently. I'll personally review every message and let you know if Firm Foundations might be the right fit for your life. But here's the thing. You have to take action. You have to stop thinking about it, talking about it, and planning to do it. Something someday. Someday is not a day of the week. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make right now. Your kids are watching, your body is waiting, and God is calling you to steward well what He has entrusted to you. The question is, are you ready to answer that call? I hope so, because you deserve to feel strong, confident, and at peace in the body God gave you. You deserve to model health for your children that looks like stewardship, not obsession. And you deserve to build something that lasts for generations. Christ is your firm foundations in all things. Let Firm Foundations be your foundation in health. But before we go, let me pray for you. Heavenly Father, thank you for the person listening to this right now. Thank you that you know their heart, their struggles, and their deepest desires to honor you with their health. Lord, they're tired of starting over, and I pray that today would be the day they find hope again. Help them to see their body through your eyes. Help them to remember that they are fearfully and wonderfully made, created in your image for a purpose. Give them wisdom to discern your voice from the noise of the world, telling them that they're not enough. Give them courage to take the next step, even when it feels scary or uncertain. And Father, help them to trust that you are their firm foundation in all things, including their health. May they find rest in knowing that their worth is not tied to a number on a scale, but to the truth that they are your beloved child. Strengthen them for the journey ahead and surround them with the support they need. If they're married, help them to encourage one another in this journey and build health together as a team. In Jesus' name, amen. Thanks again for being here, my friends. If this episode encouraged you, please share it with a friend who needs to hear this message today. Until next time, remember to steward your body well. It's the only one you've got. Thanks for tuning in to Strength for Generations. If this episode encouraged you, it would be a blessing if you took a quick minute to leave a 5-star review. It helps more families hear this message and find hope for their health and faith journey. You can also share this episode to your stories and tag us. God might use your post to encourage someone who really needs it today. And if you're ready for your next step, go to bakerfamilyfitness.com and join the 5-day Move Mountains method. It's a powerful journey to renew your health, strength, and mind. It includes daily video teachings and workbooks. You're going to discover your why. We're going to get into daily habits and movement. You're going to learn about food and fuel. We're going to learn about perseverance and consistency. And most importantly, legacy and generational health. If you feel stuck or unsure of where to start, this is for you. And don't forget to eat steaks, lift weights, love Jesus, and keep doing it His way.